My name is Jack Hanney, and welcome to this week's edition of The Insider. Consumer sentiment is lower than it was back in 2008, and it's worse than it was back in the stagflation era of the 70s. So U.S. consumer sentiment is now hit the lowest levels again since 1952. Nearly 75 years. Inflation has just tripled, and the dollar has lost 30% of its purchasing power. Tensions with Iran are escalating again. Many were hoping for a ceasefire, but over the weekend, the U.S. fired on Iranian warships. The Strait of Hormuz is closed, and escalations with Iran are now heating up again. The stock market had rebounded last week on news of a ceasefire and hopes of a ceasefire. As we're seeing now, retail investors are rotating into safe haven assets such as physical gold and silver as this war with Iran continues. Now, keep in mind the inflation that is going to ensue from the price per barrel of oil and the cost of gas as that increases, and that makes its way through the economy. So we are going to really start realizing the inflation in Q3 and Q4 later this year. Many economists are warning of a significant stock market crash here in 2026. You'll see with the irrational exuberance and the complacency in the stock market with last week's rebound, many economists are concerned. There was also a report the week before last that the percentage of Americans' wealth that is a result of the stock market and in the stock market is the highest it's been in history. That over 45% of Americans' wealth is now in the stock market. It would be catastrophic if we are to see a crash in the stock market. And again, most economists believe that to be the case here in 2026. UBS, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan are all forecasting $6,300 an ounce gold in 2026. Gold right now is at about $4,700 an ounce, so that would be a gain of about 25%. They're saying silver could be the trade for the second half of 2026. So ahead of sell in May and go away, retail investors are rotating into physical gold and silver as this war with Iran continues and escalates, and the hopes of a ceasefire really are diminishing. I am not a certified financial investment advisor, nor do I give tax advice. You can visit us at www.patriotgoldgroup.com or call 1-888-488-5190. Again, that's www.patriotgoldgroup.com or call 1-888-488-5190. Again, as we see this war continuing, safe haven assets, physical gold and silver, the single best buying opportunity of 2026. There was a report last week that said this may be your last opportunity with the war in Iran to get into gold below $6,000 an ounce. Thank you, and I look forward to speaking with you next week on an episode of The Insider.